Okay, so here we are at Ludlow Castle. My name is Leon Bracelin and I am the resident archaeologist of this castle. We're going to show you some really interesting elements that you can see if you come and visit us. We're going to show you the history, we're going to look at the archaeology, and we're going to show you the most interesting parts of this monument. There's a lot to show you, and we shall go back in time because that's what archaeology is all about. So here we are. There behind me you can see the wonderful keep. How fantastic is that? And as a castle, this is one of the best examples of a Norman castle in the whole of the country. It shows us so many different phases of development and periods of history. So many events that happened here in Ludlow. We've got Mortimer's Tower just behind me. You've got the keep. And in a little while later, we'll show you the Mary Magdalene Chapel. It's a Knights Templar chapel. And it is very special. It's one of the few best examples of a Knights Templar chapel in the whole of the country. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the outer bailey, and all bailey means is enclosure. On the inside is the inner bailey, and right in front of you, you've got the castle keep. Just to my left, you can see the outline of the old original drawbridge. On the other side here, you've got the bridge that was put in 1501, and then the whole reason for this here as the entrance to the castle is because when this was built in 1086, it was defensive and it was built to keep the Welsh out. So the Normans invade the country, they spread out, and along the marches, they built all of these wonderful military buildings, and it was a statement of intent. It was a statement of conquest. Later on, the role of the castle changes and it becomes a seat of governance for the rest of Wales, particularly in the Tudor period. But the more you see of this monument, the more it opens your eyes. It's truly extensive. It's far too much to go into all in one clip. So we're going to show you, as I say, the most important part. Now, we're going to go over now to Mortimer's Tower, and this was built in 1301, Roger Mortimer, and you've got St. Peter's Chapel, which was also built, and it is said that it was dedicated to St. Peter because when Roger Mortimer escaped the Tower of London, which he did, ladies and gentlemen, that was his offering to the officials as a statement. Now, as we walk up to Mortimer's Tower, you can start to see the outline of the original entrance just above that square window. And inside, you can see the entrance to the battlefield. It goes down to the River Teme, which runs all the way to the south of the town. And it's a wonderful, beautiful landscape. There's so much more to it. So as we go through into the entrance of the castle, and into the Mortimer's Tower, let us have a look and explore further. So, ladies and gentlemen, come with me this way. Here we are. We go in, and as you can see, fantastic. There you go. Behind me, you can see the outline and the shape just there of the entrance. There would have been a portcullis there. And you can see the wonderful cobbled surface. And if you're lucky, we can even see, just above me, a murder hole. And there are some really good examples, especially in the keep, of murder holes. What they are, ladies and gentlemen, is the last line of defence. If you managed to get through here, you had to contemplate the portcullis. And then above you, you had to contemplate some horrible goodies being poured on your head. So we'll go back out and we'll follow the trail. And if you come this way, ladies and gentlemen, follow me out the door. And that's the great thing with this monument. There is so much to see. There are so many rooms. There's so much to interact with. There's so much to think about. It's quite overwhelming, but it's fantastic. It really is. After all, ladies and gentlemen, it is our heritage. It's where we're from. So we take a walk now and we go over to the inside of the Bailey. And we're going to look now at the Mary Magdalene Chapel. It's very, very special. And it's got a unique nave. So here we go. We're walking through, we're going through into the entrance of the inner Bailey and thus the earlier part of the castle. And everywhere you look, the more you see, the more it makes you think. And the more events in history that you are witnessing as we go back through time. There you go. And here's the castle. And lo and behold, inside the inner Bailey, we have the Knights Templar Chapel. This was built in 1131 to 1133. And the seat of the Templars comes into the country in 1124. And the reason why you have a round nave is because it's in reflection of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Yes, guys, these folk were harking back to the Holy Land and the Crusades of 1099. They're going back to the architecture. They're going back to the Romanesque style of how they built their buildings and their castles. And it was very prestigious. So a very important part of really our history and our time. In front of me here, you've got, well, to the left, you've got the solar block. In front of me, you've got the Great Hall, and the Great Hall is where everything happened. Deals were cut, yeah? Deals were cut, agreements were made, treaties were signed, yeah? Politics was talked about, and it's very, very important. But before we get to the hall, we thus go round and we're going to take a view of the Mary Magdalene Chapel. And as you can see, the chancel end is gone. This is where the altar would be. And if we sweep down and around, you can see just behind me this wonderful chancel arch. Inside, there are 15 arcades, and that is where the priest would sit. And their feet wouldn't touch the ground, and prayers were given. Blessings were given. So it's really, really intriguing, and it's beautiful to see. So we go around, and as we go forwards, we will then go past the Great Hall, and we go on through the inner Bailey, and we'll go towards now the well, and we'll go by the keep. And as you can see as I'm walking, there's just so much to see. There's so much. We'll go this way. And the monument, because it's been really well looked after, means that it's survived. People don't understand this because a lot of places and a lot of other castle sites, even near here, don't actually survive because over time the fabric of the building gets robbed, it gets pinched, people use things, and generally it's not looked after. And as I always say in archaeology, once it's gone, you can't replace it. Once it's gone, it's gone. And that's very, very important. Now, here is the other side of the keep. Fantastic. And I want you to bear in mind the height of that keep because it's relevant to this well. And this well, as an archaeologist, is absolutely dynamite. It's fantastic. What it could tell us in there, at the bottom of it, would be unique. It would tell us so much about the castle, about the people that were here, not just the lords and ladies, but about the people. Because in there is going to be layer upon layer of archaeology, and it hasn't been disturbed. Not only that, the interesting thing about wells is that they're mysterious, deep, dark places. And it ties in with an archaeological subterranean survey I did a few years ago, where I was looking for tunnels and entrances. And this was a key part of those findings. So amazing stuff. So when we go into the monument and we look at the monument and we see what we can see, there's so much to contemplate. So Ludlow Castle, it doesn't just stop here, it goes on, and there's so much more that it can tell us. And for nearly 1,000 years, people have been coming here and they've been visiting. They would have lived here in the early days, but this has been on the landscape in Ludlow for nearly 1,000 years, and it still remains today. So for another 1,000 years, who knows just what the future holds.